Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn a method which is called simple Huckel method, or we call it simple Huckel theory, or we can also call it Huckel molecular orbital method. So these are the three names for the same method. This method is applicable to pi conjugate system in which pi electrons are present, and using this method we can calculate various properties of these molecules or these systems. So let's start. Before we move into the mathematical details of this method, we must remember few of the points about this method. First is, this method is applicable to pi systems in which pi electrons are present. Secondly, pi orbitals are out of plane. So that is why we are able to apply this only on the pi electrons and not on the sigma electrons. See, so according to this point, let's see this example. I have drawn a benzene molecule over here. Now see, to form sigma bonds, sigma orbitals are involved, like 2px, 2py are the orbitals which are involved in the formation of sigma bonds, but 2pz is out of plane and it is responsible for the pi electrons. So we can say these electrons or these orbitals are out of plane and they are not interfering with the sigma electrons. So we can treat this framework of pi electrons, which is mentioned over here in dotted lines form. We can treat this framework separately from the sigma framework. Sigma framework is mentioned in green color. So that is why we can apply a different method to calculate the properties of these pi systems. Okay, so this is the point. Next is, we apply here in this method the linear combination of atomic orbitals. We call it LCAO. It means these atomic orbitals will be combining to give a molecular orbital. So we have already studied in the formation in our previous class also, linear combination of atomic orbitals. Next is, this method uses variational method. So let's revise quickly what is variational method. This method said we can take a trial wave function for a system and then calculate the expectation value of energy or the average energy of that system using that trial wave function. So the energy which we calculate using variational method is always less than or equal to the actual energy of the system. So this was the variational method. So these two methods will be applied over here to calculate Huckel molecular orbital parameters. Let's see the mathematical procedure how to treat pi orbitals using this method. So starting from Schrodinger's wave equation, which was this equation, Schrodinger's wave equation, this is the equation, and this was the short form of Schrodinger's wave equation. We know we can write down the average energy value using this equation by this method. Okay, here H is the Hamiltonian operator and psi are the wave function, molecular orbital wave functions. Right, now I am taking here the simplest example of ethene, so that we have only 2 carbon atoms, so it is easy to understand the system. After that we will be able to expand it to any number of carbon atoms or any cyclic compound also. Alright, so let's assume, so this entire procedure we have already done in our molecular orbital theory. So I am just revising few of the points and then I will move to the calculation part. So here assume that phi 1 and phi 2 are the atomic orbitals, phi 1, phi 2. So the molecular, as per LCAO molecular orbital theory, we can write the molecular orbital as C1 phi 1 plus C2 phi 2. So this is the wave function for this system. Alright, now once you have wave function, if we substitute this value of wave function in equation number 1, what we get is this. So we get the energy expression something like this: C1 phi 1 plus C2 phi 2. Here is the Hamiltonian operator, C1 phi 1 plus C2 phi 2, and in the denominator we have C1 phi 1, C2 phi 2 without Hamiltonian operator, the same wave function. Alright, so when you substitute these values, now next step is to multiply these terms inside and take these coefficients outside. Okay. So please revise these steps once again so that you will be able to do all these arrangements. Here Hij was the symbol given to these integrals, and the condition is when Hi is equal to when I is equal to j, it means it is called Coulomb integral. When I is not equal to j, resonance integral. So it means Coulomb integrals are all H11, H22. We have only 2 over here because we have only 2 carbon atoms, right? 2 atomic orbitals. As the number of atomic orbitals increases, the number of these Coulomb integrals and resonance integrals will also increase. So we have H11 and H22 when I is equal to j. When I is not equal to j, those are called resonance integrals. It means H12 and H21 both are resonance integrals. Alright. Now next is Sij. So when I is equal to j, it will be 1. It means that integral will be called as exchange integral. And when I is not equal to j, S will be equal to 0, and this is called overlap integral. So all the exchange integrals like S11, S22 will be equal to 1, and all the overlap integrals S12 and S21, these will be equal to 0. So these are the symbols given to these integral terms just to simplify this expression. So what, after substituting these values, what were the next step? Next step was to minimize this energy expression with respect to the coefficients of atomic orbitals. C1 and C2 are the coefficients. So when we minimize these coefficients, let's see what was the remainder equation. So from this equation, when I do the cross multiplication and simplify this equation after substituting the values of these integrals as H11, H22, H12, H21 and S11, S22, S21, S12. Okay, and cross multiplying it, I will get this equation. I am not doing it in an elaborated form because I know you have already done it. So it is easier for you to understand. Once you get this equation, the next step was to minimize this equation with respect to C1 and C2 one by one, so that you can get two equations, separate equations. So this is the first equation I have got, and this is the second one. So I have separated coefficient C1 and C2 over here and C1 and C2 over here. Now we have two these unknowns, and these are the coefficients. So we can form we can write this equation in terms of determinant form. So I have written this. Okay, so we have 4 elements, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here C1 and C2, 0, 0 on the other side. But C1 and C2 cannot be equal to 0. So this one has to be equal to 0. So I am putting this entire determinant equal to 0, and I will then cross multiply it. But before that, I will substitute few more terms for these integrals. So let's see it. To make some more substitutions over here. So these are the assumptions for that. We have Hij is equal to alpha. This will be equal to alpha when I is equal to j. It means all H11, H22 and so on will be equal to alpha. Here when I is not equal to j, this integral will become beta. It means H12, H21 equal to beta, right? Similarly over here also, when I equal to j, it means S11, S22 all equal to 1 equals to over here S12 is equal to S21 is equal to 0, right? So when I substitute those values over here and this determinant equal to 0, I will have H11 is equal to alpha minus E into 1. So I have alpha minus E for this term. Similarly over here I will have beta minus E into 0. It means only beta. Here I will have beta. Next term H21 again beta minus E into 0. So here is beta again. And H22 minus ES22. So H11 is alpha minus E. S22 becomes 1. So we have this is equal to 0. This is the simplified form. We further would like to solve it because we are going to solve it for energy expression E. So let me divide all the rows by beta. So I will have minus E beta, beta upon beta, and here beta upon beta, and alpha minus E beta is equal to 0. Now this term becomes 1. This again becomes 1. So I am just doing it to simplify it because I am going to solve it and find an expression for energy. So now it has become very simple. You can simply calculate the expression for energy from this expression. Let's do it. So when I solve it, I will have alpha minus E beta whole square minus 1 is equal to 0, or alpha minus E beta is equal to 1 square, or I can say under root of 1 means plus minus 1. So I have alpha minus E is equal to plus minus beta. For energy expression, take energy on the other side and beta this side. So energy will be alpha plus minus beta. We have two energy values, right? So let's say E1 is equal to alpha plus beta and E2 is equal to alpha minus beta. So we have two values of energy. So beta is actually always comes out to be negative. It means this energy will be lower because alpha minus something, because beta is negative, here we have positive sign. So alpha minus something, and this will be higher energy. So for ethene we can draw an energy level diagram which will be like this. Lower energy is alpha plus beta, higher energy is alpha minus beta. So we have these two energy levels, alpha plus beta, alpha minus beta, in molecular orbitals. So this energy will be corresponding to bonding molecular orbital, and the wave function for this comes out to be this. Here these are the coefficients, the value of C1 and C2. So value of C1 and C2 for this plus sign for the wave function, bonding molecular orbital. For the anti-bonding we have minus sign. It means here the overlapping is happening like positive, negative, positive, negative. And for bonding orbitals it is happening like positive, for another carbon also positive, positive. So this way. Now how many pi electrons are there in the system? Only 2. So I fill the pi electrons in the system in the lower orbital. So we can here calculate using this formula, we can calculate the bond order between the two carbon atoms and the atomic charges on the two carbon atoms in this case. Now let's learn how to form a secular determinant for any system. Once we know the determinant, it is easier to solve it and find out the energy expression. So I have drawn only carbon frame chain or the cyclic system, not hydrogens are included over here. Let me number it 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the simple method is, as many carbons you have in your conjugate system, the order of that determinant will be of the same. It means it will be 4 by 4 determinant. over here also a 4 by 4 determinant will be formed. Understood? Now the first thing is, for this first carbon, for itself, its orbital with itself is overlapping 100%. So this term will be alpha minus E upon beta. Let's call this term, this alpha minus E upon beta is equal to X. Okay, I am just providing it a symbol. So it will be X for the carbon number 1. Now it is connected to, now remember one thing, the first, this column, first row is entirely for first carbon. First element is for itself, second element is for those atoms to which it is connected. It means it is connected to second carbon atom, so second element will be 1. Okay. It is not connected to third carbon atom, 0. It is not connected to fourth carbon atom, 0. Right. Let's move to the second atom, C2. Now C2 is connected to first atom, hence 1. It is connected to itself also, means it is completely overlapping to itself, X. It is connected to third atom, 1. It is not connected to fourth atom, 0. Moving on to the next carbon atom. This one is not connected to first carbon atom, 0. This is connected to second, 1. For itself, X, connected to fourth, 1. Moving on to the fourth atom. This is not connected to first, 0. Not connected to second, 0. Connected with the third, 1. For itself, X. So this way we can write, this is a simple method to write a secular determinant. Now you can solve this determinant and calculate the energy expression using this equation, X is equal to alpha minus E upon beta. Though it will be a little bit complicated, but you can still solve it. Right, now let's see in this system what happens. Here also the order has to be 4 into 4, but the difference is 1, 2, 3, 4. First and fourth atom is connected. These were not connected in a straight chain. So let's write for the first carbon atom, X connected to second, 1, not connected to third, 0, connected to fourth, 1. So here the element was coming out to be 0 because there is no connection between first and fourth atom. But here the first and fourth atoms are connected, so 1. For the second carbon atom connected to first, 1, X, 1 and 0. For the third one, 0, 1, X and 1. Fourth one, fourth is connected with 1, 1, 0, 1 and X. This way you can easily calculate is equal to 0 and you can easily calculate the values of energy expressions. You can try writing secular determinants for these 3 systems and try yourself. We will be solving these equations and will be calculating resonance energy of these systems also in the next class. Thank you everyone.